Hi Exchange kids, it's Miss Annie here, and I'm just talking with my husband Tim on Zoom right now. And I am telling Tim all about our new theme at Exchangecc. It's called God is Like, and we're going to be talking about all of the cool things that God is like. Tim, what do you think of this theme?
I think it's so awesome.
Tim, I can't hear you. I think we've lost connection. The Zoom call is not working. But it's okay, I have an idea, kids. I'm gonna create a phone where I can talk to Tim and not lose connection. So I'm gonna end this Zoom call. Let's go try out a new phone. Okay kids, I have the perfect solution to my Zoom problem. You see, I want to make a phone where I can talk to Tim in any house of the room. We don't even have to be in the same room together, but I can still hear him. And my phone keeps dying and Zoom keeps cutting out, so I'm going to solve this problem by making a cup phone. Have you ever made one of these before? They're pretty cool. So all you need is 2 cups, some yarn, and something to poke a hole with for the cup. So here I have my cup, and I've used this to poke a hole, and I've done that on both sides of the cup. Then I'm going to take my yarn, and I'm going to stick it through the hole, and I'm going to pull it through and make a really big knot because I want to be able to make sure that the yarn won't go through the hole. So you make a big knot on both sides of the cup with the yarn. Perfect. Just like this. And there you have it. You have a phone. When you talk, you hold the cup up to your mouth, and when someone else is talking, you hold the cup to your ear to listen. You guys want to go try this out? Come on, let's go find Tim and see what we can do with this. Alright kids, I gave Tim his cup. And I know he's hanging in the living room. Do you guys want to see what he's doing? Let's ask him. Hey Tim, what are you doing?
I'm eating candy.
Tim, I can't hear you. Your voice is all muffled. Are you eating something?
Maybe.
You're not eating my candy, are you?
This is all my candy.
Well, as you saw, I think Tim was enjoying that candy way too much. But I really liked my phone. I thought it was pretty cool. And it actually reminded me of something. You know, I was talking to Tim just in a quiet whisper almost with the phone, and he could still hear me. And do you know that God can talk to us, even in a whisper? There's actually a story in the Bible about this. It's in 1 Kings 19. And in this story, there's a man named Elijah. And Elijah was a prophet. And a prophet is just someone who God speaks to tell other people his messages. And there was an evil queen who did not like Elijah at all. And she did not want him to tell others what God had to say. So she actually made a plan to hurt Elijah, which he was really afraid. So he decided to run away, and he went and hid in a cave. And while he was in the cave, he was waiting for God to speak to him and to tell him what to do next. And in the cave, some pretty incredible things happened. First, there was a huge gush of wind. And this wind was so strong that it actually shattered rocks around the cave. And then there was a huge earthquake. And this earthquake was so big. I know I've experienced small earthquakes, but this was a big earthquake. You know, and even through the wind and the earthquake, Elijah didn't hear God's voice. So something else happened. Then there was a big fire, and the fire was really strong. But even then, with the fire, Elijah didn't hear God's voice. It wasn't until everything quieted and Elijah listened that he heard God speak to him through a whisper. You know, Elijah heard God's voice, and God told him to leave the cave and go do what he'd called him to do. And I think that story is so cool because it reminds me that God can speak to me and he can speak to you in any way if we stop and listen to him. You know, God is like the best phone ever. He's not like my dinky little phone that I made with Tim. And he's not like our conversations that we have over Zoom, where maybe we're talking to someone and then we get kicked out of the call or we freeze. He's not like our iPhone where the battery could die when we're talking to someone and then we can't talk to them anymore. God is always there. He never drops out. He always hears us. He listens every time we speak, which is so amazing. And even more amazing is that God speaks to us. So what are ways that we can hear God's voice when he speaks to us? Well, we can hear God's voice when we read the Bible. There are so many amazing words where God tells us so many incredible things in the Bible. We can also hear God's voice when we pray. You know, we can pray and talk to God, and then we can be quiet and quiet our hearts and wait for him to talk back to us. You know, normally when I pray and hear from God, he's telling me to go do something nice for a friend or to pray for someone. You can even hear from God through messages like this on the Exchangecc channel, or when you talk with a leader or with your parents and you pray together, you can hear God that way. So there's lots of ways that we can hear from God. But kids, we have to stop and listen for his voice. So I want to encourage you, Exchange kids, that this week I'm going to do this, and I hope you do this as well. Let's take some time to pray and talk to God, because I promise that he hears you. And then let's also take some time to be quiet and listen for his voice, because sometimes there's a lot of things going on in the world, just like Elijah was going through a lot of different things. But God still speaks to us no matter what's going on. All right, kids, thanks for joining. Have a great week, and I'll see you later.